Alright, I'm going to introduce you to Ulead Video Studio 10 tutorial. This is part 1. This is going to concentrate on video only. You're going to double click your Ulead to launch it. This is assuming you already have imported your video from your camera onto your desktop, for example. So you have your raw video file sitting there. The first thing you do, you open your Ulead. You are not going to go to File Open. That is for projects. You've not created your project yet. You're going to go to the video drop down here, and you're going to click the folder button to browse for a video you want to bring in here and work on. I'm going to take one of my videos out of my Sony folder, double click it, then it appears in my library. This is your library. You have audio libraries, which we'll discuss later, different types of libraries. So your video popped into your library here. You're going to drag that onto your film strip, and that is the first step in creating a movie. Now, we're not going to address the audio tab in this lesson, but we are going to address the timeline view, which opens up all 5 tracks. You see video track 1, video 2, title, audio 1, audio 2. You can put anything in these 2 audio tracks, any sound. You can put any video in these 2 video tracks. I'm only going to talk about video right now. Some of the things you'll notice: you cannot drag your video to the right. You can't make room in front of it. It's because this is the raw video kind of as it sits. There's no adjusting the times. You can shrink it, but you can't put space in front of it. You can't move it. So what you do here, you drag your video to track 2 instead. Then you now can make room. You can start wherever you want. If you want to put a little title in front, which we're not going to talk about today. You'll also notice track 2 is a bit more raw. It's smaller now. This is the actual video size. So what I do, I drag it just enough to leave a little border, maybe a quarter-inch border around the edge, just to make it look slick. Then you have your timeline here, which goes along your entire video. I'll show you the whole. It's really long, right? It defaults to 1 second. That means each notch is 1 second. That's much too quick an interval, and you'll never see it. It takes too long to deal with your project. I right-click on that timeline, zoom to 10 seconds. Now you can see the whole video. Now, if you have real fine-tuned work to do, you can always expand it to maybe half a second, a third of a second if you want something really precise, but I just put it to 10 seconds just for a rough view. Say you want your video to start at a different spot. Say I want it to start right there. You can select your point. You just click along the video. You say I want it to start right there. You're going to highlight the video. You're going to drag the front to that line you decided. Then you can pull this back to the start. Now your video is going to start there. You just chose a different starting point. Same thing with the end. Say I want it to end here right as I'm spitting out the beer. You choose your point, you highlight it, and I pull the video in to now just chose the section that I wanted. I just chose a little piece of my video and I pulled in. You can't pull out the middle. You can only do fronts and backs. So say there's something else you want in a different spot, but you can only pull in 1 video at a time. You can pull that same video again from your library and put it after it. And then do the same thing on this video. Say on this video, I want to get this particular scene here. So that's how you can kind of accumulate different pieces of your video together. Again, this is raw, so each time you pull in a video to the second track, you choose your size. I always go max, just for best quality. Then you put 2 videos together. This way, when you have 2, you can right-click on each video section you pulled in for playback speed. You can put 1000 speed for a certain section. See how it shrunk, much smaller. It's going fast now. Then you can pull in your other video, playback speed 10%. Watch this one grow. Now it's way off the charts because it's going slow-mo. So then you play it. There's no super fast, 1000%. Then it's going to transition to 10% and go really slow. So you can put different tracks together at different speeds to get different effects, different things that are cool. The sound gets kind of funny when you go slow-mo, which is pretty awesome. So that's how you can create slow and faster videos. I'm just going to go over a couple of the last video options. You can highlight a certain video. You click the Edit tab right here. You then have some options. You can click this audio button to completely mute the audio in that video. If say you're doing music and you don't want to hear any noises or distracting wind, you can mute the entire video that way automatically. I do that if I have nothing to say in a certain scene. I'll mute it to make sure there's no interference. You can also change the level of volume here next to the volume with 100% as standard. Muting it comments it out. You then can rotate, which I don't really use. 90 degrees is kind of screwed up. Color correction is how you get black and white. This next option. Bring up your color menu. You lower this hue and the saturation, and all of a sudden you have black and white. I'll just put it back for now. Then you click this little side button over here to get rid of that menu. You also have the playback speed here, which we also already discussed. You can right click directly on the movie, or you have the playback speed button right there. You have the reverse video button. That's how people do all this funny backwards stuff. You click it, your video is automatically backwards. So if I play it, then again you can do slow-mo backwards, fast motion backwards. You can watch yourself suck in beer instead of spit it out, stuff like that. So that's how you can reverse your video, forward it, slow it down, speed it up. That's most of the video section that I'm going to talk about today. I will talk about audio and titles later. And that should be the end of lesson 1.